Right, Mr. Dosser here, back with another video. Today's video is going to be on future modern classics for under £15,000. These are cars that could potentially go up in the future. Just as a proviso, can I just say that it's not certain these cars are going up, and I wouldn't say investing in cars is a good investment nowadays, especially. So this is just like my gut instinct, what I feel is my opinion. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, comment, share the video. Do you agree with me? Do you not? And let's get into it. Number one, Jaguar XK/XKR. So the one you'll be getting for this sort of price would be the one with the 4.2 litre supercharged V8, specifically the XK150 that was made between 2006 to 2008. It produces about 410 horsepower, and the reason why I've put it on this list is that it's a Grand Tourer. And as a Grand Tourer, I believe it's the last one that Jaguar really made. They did make a 5 litre variant, but that will be out of the price range. And after the XK/XKR model, the F-Type wasn't really a Grand Tourer. That was a more out-and-out sports car, and it's a bit harder, a bit harsher. So I think this will be remembered, and I think it will go up in value because it has timeless looks, elegant coupe shape. Also available as a convertible. However, I would personally go for the coupe, and you don't see many on the road. It's very understated, and I do think when you put an exhaust system on it, or even a standard, when you put your foot down, they do sound mega, and I think it's one of the best sounding cars you can get out there. That's the Jaguar XK/XKR. Number two, we're talking about the Focus Mark 1 RS, or Focus RS Mark 1, and why I think this is an iconic model is because of the Rally Sport badging. It's a successor of the Ford Escort Cosworth RS, the Sierras, etc., and the Mark 1 RS Capris, and I guess the standalone RS 200 Group B machine. Now, in the early noughties, Ford didn't really have an RS as such, and the Focus was the one to go for, and it had a punchy 2 litre engine developing over 200 horsepower, and the chassis had a significant number of revisions over the standard Focus, and really it went up against the Imprezas and the Mitsubishi Evos. And the brilliant thing about the Focus Mark 1 RS was that it just came in one specification. There wasn't any options. You couldn't choose the colour, you couldn't change the seats, you couldn't change any of that. It was just, this is it. It came in, I believe the colour is Imperial Blue. So it's a really good car. They do say you need to be quite careful driving it, because even though it only produces about 212 horsepower and only about 229 foot-pound of torque, which by modern standards isn't amazing, it was a very light car, and it all went through the front wheels. And the 0-60 time, actually, they're saying just below 6 seconds, which at the time was amazing for a hatchback. But the main point was the handling. You really had to put both hands on the wheel, and you have to pay attention because it could go out of control quite easily. So what I'd say is definitely go for this car if you can. Unfortunately, prices are already on the up, and they're probably going to continue even more because it's going to approach 25 years soon, and that means that they can be exported, or I guess imported, exported from the UK, and that means US citizens, people in the US, can import them in. I don't think they're going to go the same way as the Skyline, but I do think there will be some interest across the pond for the Focus RS. Right, next up, number 3 is the Alfa 147 GTA. Now, this is a remarkable car, and I think it's a forgotten car because Alfa has a rich motorsport heritage. That, combined with the Italian styling and the engine, makes it one of the most underrated hot hatchbacks ever made, I think, in my opinion. So why I think this car is important is down to the engine primarily. The 3.2 litre 24 valve V6 is a Busso V6, and it was one of the last Busso V6s put into an Alfa Romeo. 0-60 is dealt with in 6.1 seconds, and the top speed was more than 150 miles per hour. Again, this is sort of in line in competition with the Focus RS. Now, the car came with a 6-speed manual transmission, and it came with a fantastic exhaust system with it. As a car, it does have some flaws, and people have reported reliability issues, car breaking down, having to spend not a lot of money, but some money getting it going again. What I would say is that it is a rare car. Parts will not be easy to find, but you can still find them, and you have to be willing to maintain this car, and it will cost you more to repair this car than it will some of the other cars on this list. However, in terms of enjoyment and potential future classic, this one is very, very strong, and to be honest, the values are already going up. If you want a decent one, you're looking over £10,000 already, and same with the Focus RS Mark 1, that also over 10 grand for a decent one nowadays, probably towards 12 to 15 already. And with the Jaguar XK, again, we're looking at the 10 to 12 grand mark for a half decent one, probably looking towards the top end of 15 for a good one. So the next one on the list is a BMW 8 Series, specifically the E31. Now, the E31 ran from 1990 to 1999. It was their GT car, their Grand Tourer, a luxurious Mercedes coupe. Not Mercedes, BMW. Apologies. Don't know why I got Mercedes on my mind. Two power plant options, V8 or V12. You'll struggle to get a V12 nowadays below 15k. If you do, you've got to be a bit careful, but you can easily get a V8 for under 15k, and I do think the design is timeless and really is a classic car already, in my opinion. The only thing I would consider is possibly looking to see whether the engine is okay in the transmission. Try to avoid the 4-speed automatic if you're going to go automatic, because there is a 5-speed available, but I would personally try to get the manual, but there is a premium for the manual. And compared, the reason why I put it on this list is because compared to, let's say, the modern day 8 Series, it goes to show how different styling is nowadays. Nowadays it's much harder to style a car. There's more restraint. You're confined as to how you can design a car, whereas back in the day you could have pop-up headlights, and to be honest, that on its own is a reason to buy it. It's pop-up headlights. You got a nice V8, nice coupe, sleek body with pop-up headlights, and that won't ever be done again from BMW, sorry. So that's one to go for. Right, next up on the list is the Vauxhall Monaro, also known as the Holden HSV. Really, it's not a Vauxhall as such, it's an Australian car. Comes with a 5.7 litre GM LS1 or LS3. Now, the LS engine is renowned for being an extremely reliable engine, and many people do LS swaps. They put it into various vehicles because it's so easy to do and parts are readily available, and there's a lot of wealth of knowledge on the internet on how to go about doing it. Anyway, as a car, it is amazing because it's not what you expected from Vauxhall, and the whole heritage behind Monaro went further with Vauxhall producing the VXR8 with the supercharged engine, and the Bathurst edition is available as a manual and also automatic. Preferably, I'd go for the manual. Price is already on the up. Decent money, looking at least 12k. You can get a cheaper variant under the 10k mark. The VXR8 is beyond 15k now. We're probably talking closer towards 20 than we are 15. So that's unfortunate, but that's the way things have gone nowadays. But I definitely think it's one of those cars that Vauxhall will never ever produce a car like that again. It's effectively a muscle car, and I never thought back in the day that Vauxhall would ever make a muscle car. So it is special, and you don't see many on the road, so definitely one to watch out. Next on the list, we've got the Honda S2000. Now, the S2000 is a remarkable car, and it's probably the most reliable car on the list due to it being a Honda. Now, as a car, it's a 2-seater, available as a roadster or hardtop. And if you ask me which one I'd get, I'd actually struggle with this. Usually I'm a guy that would say go for the coupe, go for the hardtop, don't go for the convertible. However, the S2000, for me, both variants are good. Go for both if you can. You know, it doesn't matter which one you go for, either one will do. But in terms of power, the way the engine delivers the power is unique with that VTEC engine, with that second cam that activates. It revs all the way up to 9,000, first generation of Honda S2000. The latter generations didn't rev as much. They only revved about 8,700, 8,800. However, they'd slightly revised handling, which is better actually, because the earlier ones were known for being extremely twitchy. Things to consider with the Honda S2000 would include making sure the hood mechanism works on the convertible, but also insurance. And I know it sounds a bit silly because you think, well, it's only a 2-litre 4-cylinder engine and only produces 200 odd horsepower. Yes. However, due to the twitchy nature of handling, there were some that involved in quite a lot of accident, and that is why some people are reporting that it's cheaper for them to insure a Lamborghini Murcielago than it is a Honda S2000. So bear that in mind. But in terms of a future classic, I mean, value's already shot up in the last 3 to 5 years. So I do think it's only going to go one way, and that's up here. And I don't think Honda will make a car like this again. A lightweight sports car that revs out, that's cheap to maintain. Don't think that will happen again. Last on the list, but not least, we got the VW Golf R32. This is a bit of a different one because it came with a 3.2 litre V6. And at the time, it wasn't really well revered. People would say, journalists specifically would say, just stick with the Golf GTI. However, the Golf GTI has that same formula of 4-cylinder 2 litre engine. However, the R32 was different, 3.2 litre V6, and since then they haven't really put a 3.2 litre V6 into a Golf, and that's why I think it's quite a unique car and it could potentially be a future class. The reason why journalists discarded it to begin with was due to it being nose heavy, and yes, in terms of handling, GTI would be more balanced, but in terms of character, sound and making a statement, the R32 is better, and in terms of future values and general enjoyment, I think the R32 wins with that. So yeah, let me know what you think of that list. Do you agree with any of them? Have I missed any out? Do you think none of these cars will be future classics? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and yeah, I'll see you next time.